What's up, everyone? Happy New Year's Eve and welcome to the Early Edge. My name is Sia Nejad, otherwise known as the Counselor of Cash, and this show is brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. The chat already legendary. Pogo Picks in there. Ricardo Hernandez, Steven Ruiz, Jay Long, Rick Funcannon. Everyone, let's see how we did on the recap screen yesterday before we bring in the stars of the show. Well, we go 3-3, but tough luck. You might have gotten your bet refunded, actually, on the Tobias Harris over 13.5 points. He had 7 points in about 5.5 minutes and then injured his hip. Pretty crazy stuff with that hip injury. That was definitely going to hit. This should be 4-2, but it's not. It's 3-3. Buckets goes 1 for 2. Chip Patterson hits another college football bet. That's 3 out of his last 4. And the Cade Cunningham over from Prop Bet Guy came in pretty easily. Let's see if we can get some more easy winners with the stars of the show. We've got such a good cast today, and we're going to have an amazing cast tomorrow, which I'll announce in a little bit. Prop stars not able to make the show today. I know I tweeted that out, but we've got Mike McClure, we've got Buckets, and we've got Danny Brasco, and of course, Ben in the shadows. Let's hit the like button for Ben. Buckets, how are we feeling? So you went 1 for 2 yesterday, but in my opinion, a bit of controversy with the one you lost.
It's soccer is such a painful sport to bet on. We technically got lucky with the one we won, and then we got unlucky with the one we missed. I disagree heavily with the rule in soccer that a shot that hits the crossbar does not count as a shot on target. It's just a personal opinion that I'm very, very aggressive on. But yeah, Rodgers played a good game. Probably should have had a goal in that game. We miss it out with a hit off the post. Just how it goes sometimes.
All right. Danny Brasco, what are you sipping on? Is that black coffee? Do you put cream or milk? Well, what's going on there?
Espresso, splash of whole milk, ice. I'm iced all day. I don't do hot coffee. I just don't enjoy hot coffee. It needs to be chilled. In my gimme all the dogs mug is how I start the day. See it?
That is that. Okay. I'm not going to object. I drink my espressos hot, but Mike, that looks like the way you sip that. Sorry for the audio listeners, but if you're watching live, you can see what Mike's doing. And Brasco, that looks like something that's hot.
It's hot. It is hot black coffee. Always, nothing else. No sweeteners, no cream, nothing. It's just straight black coffee, which is probably the least surprising thing ever to many viewers that have been around for, the last decade here at SportsLine. I don't have anything in my coffee. It's just hot black coffee.
I'm the same way. Hot black coffee for me, although it's usually just espressos for me, but I can't take anything in my coffee, milk or cream or otherwise. Everyone in the chat, let us know how what do you wake up to in the morning? Maybe you don't wake up to caffeine. Either way, what's the drink of choice in the morning? Let us know, and let us know how you drink it with whatever additive you put in there. Let's add some bets to the slip. We've got a lot to cover, and we've got a lot of sports line picks. And later on in the show, I'm going to announce who our cast is tomorrow, which I think everybody's going to be really excited about. But we're going to talk a lot of college football. We've got an NBA sports line bet for everybody. We've got college basketball bets, college football bets, and of course, soccer. I even have an NFL prop I'm going to give out on this show that I put out on Sportsline last night. Buckets, kick us off with some soccer.
I have 2 plays for us all, but a quick warning that neither of these plays are today, because today is a pretty dead day in the football space. We do have some AFCON matches, but those are pretty lineup dependent going to the last day of AFCON, so I didn't want to give out a bet not knowing who's going to actually try in those matches. So instead, 2 Premier League matches for the matches tomorrow, starting with Liverpool hosting Leeds. I know that everyone wants to say that Liverpool is back now. They've won 4 straight. They're finally getting it together, but they still haven't looked at all competent on defense. They conceded against Wolves and barely snuck out a 2-1 win, and they're playing a Leeds side that has now hit both teams to score in their last 8 matches straight, which included drawing Liverpool 3-3 when they played in the reverse fixture just earlier this month. Absolutely love both teams to score, even with the juice at -130 here. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw this end closer to -140, -150 by kickoff. Leeds are one of the best attacking teams right now in Europe, and it's a team that is still fighting in a relegation battle, so they have to be pressing regardless of who they're going against. If you want to add over 2.5 to get plus money, I've got absolutely no problem with this bet. For the second one, we're looking at a bit of a tricky one between Crystal Palace and Fulham, 2 teams that are on completely different trajectories. Crystal Palace has lost their last 3. Fulham have won their last 3. But the big reason why Crystal Palace is losing right now is they have so many players out to both injury and to AFCON competition right now. They're missing Munoz. They're missing Kamada. They're missing Doucouré, Chadi Riyad, Caleb Korpfra. They're also missing Ismaili Sarr to AFCON. And Jean-Philippe Mateta, their best goal scorer, has now not scored in his last 7 games. So this team is just missing too many players for me to back. Go ahead and take Fulham on the draw no bet to give yourself that safety net, and you're still getting them at plus 130 with that draw no bet safety net. I think that Fulham will win this outright if you want to sprinkle that plus 250 money line. But until Crystal Palace gets their starters back from injury in AFCON, this is a team you want to continue to fade every week.
All right. We're fading Larry's drink of choice. What was it in the chat? What's up, Larry? I'm always going to make fun of Larry's drinking or eating choices, food choices, because at this point it's kind of a bit. He says, "Morning all, I like my sugar with coffee and cream." That's actually a really funny way to say it. So I'm going to retract my criticism of Larry there. We got a lot of responses there. Let's hit the like button if we could. A lot of people watching as usual. Appreciate you. Hit the like button if you could. And Mike, we're going to transition to you. You're changing it up a little bit. And now I know you're going to be on the show tomorrow with a pretty strong play. We talked about it pre-show. I know you're going to reference some of the plays you like today as well, but you've got a college football playoff donkey with all the college football playoff games. I want to note you, me, and Emery Hunt are going to be on the college football show on CBS Sports Network today at 12 o'clock. Yep. But hit us with the donkey, and then I'll have a follow-up question or two for you.
Yes, donkey parlay, give you a little action for the entire college football playoff, but truly not just a donkey parlay. I actually like this. I've played this, and it is one that I do like. There's a couple of key numbers and key spots here, but it is all 4 quarterfinal games, starting with tonight. Ohio State, simply get the job done on the money line. It's Ohio State coming off of a loss. That's when I really want to back that team. I think they're going to limit Miami. I don't think Miami can keep up offensively. Next, moving to tomorrow morning, Oregon. Early start time against Texas Tech. I like Oregon in this game. Plus 6.5, an extreme alt number here on this one that I really like, though. I think that if Oregon finds a way to lose this game, I'm not even going to give Texas Tech credit for finding a way to potentially win it. But if Oregon finds a way to lose this game, it will not be by more than 1 score. And then Alabama, big matchup against Indiana. This one is fascinating to watch. Indiana lost one of their best defensive players due to celebration after winning the Big Ten title. Alabama's had additional time off. Alabama, to me, is battle-tested because of that brutal schedule that they play. I think they keep this one tight, but looking at this alt number, same as the Ole Miss game, 15 becomes a pretty key number in games that should be more competitive that turn out to be a little more lopsided. 15 is that key number here. And then the same thing, Ole Miss and Georgia, another rematch. We've seen Ole Miss have the ability to keep up for the most part. I think it's a similar result. I think you're looking at a 1-score game likely. If it gets away from them late where they're down a score, I like this 15.5 number. So plus 203 for this donkey, getting all 4 games in here. One that I actually like quite a bit, though.
Now, Mike, I know you're coming to the show tomorrow with some plays, just like kind of regular plays, non-donkey plays, if you will. Of these 4 plays, well, actually, you know what? Let me isolate the Miami game tonight. Obviously, you have Ohio State money line in there. It's a pretty big spread, 9.5, depending on where you look. Is there a lean you have against the spread there?
So the lean against the spread is definitely the Ohio State side. I haven't played this game in any other way other than this donkey parlay. Mm-hmm. The ways that I'd be looking, like if you said, Mike, you're making a bet on this game, you have to. Mm-hmm. The ways that I would look would be Ohio State against the spread or a Miami team total under 15.5 would be where I would look. If you could find the first half at 7.5 at less than $1.50, I would consider under 7.5 in the opening half there. But should be a slower pace game. Ohio State largely in control. Miami largely struggling, but ultimately not going to play it there. I do have 2 official picks up on SportsLine. One of those I'll be bringing to the show tomorrow, but really detailing the position that I've taken and what it looks like right up till game time.
All right. If you have any questions for Mike related to college football, let us know. Brasco, go ahead.
I have one. Mike, I heard you talking about how you find 15 to be a key number, which is super interesting. I imagine for college, that's the case because we don't hear about that in the NFL. Not a spread question, but I see Miami team total 14.5. In terms of the team total, what do you feel about 14 versus 15?
No real difference there on a team total side. More of a key number coming into factor in the spread side, but no difference between 14 and 15.5. I would say on a team total.
Are 2-point conversions like rampant in college right now?
No, but they can be when you're trailing by multiple scores. analytics changing the game. You're not really looking to tie with the 2-point conversion. You're looking to win rather than essentially tie a game and go to overtime, situations like that. However, I don't think that the 14.5 versus 15.5, like if they're tying Ohio State to try and send it to overtime or win late, it's likely that they've already scored more than 15 points.
Cool.
Do you like the under 14? Do you have an opinion on the under 14.5 Miami? Because it just so happens a lot of people in the chat are asking about that.
Give me 10 seconds. I can pull up my numbers. I ran the numbers for these games, a week and a half ago. Nothing is changed materially on that, but I'd have to look and see. I don't recall having here we go. I've got it at, what would you say the number? I have 41.9 is where I've got the game.
But the team total for Miami is 14.5. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I have it right at 14.7.
So no edge, obviously.
Yeah. I would lean under if I had to play something and be under. But yeah, mostly off the game. The computer wants me to play Ohio State minus 9.5. Just a big number that I not overly excited to play.
Buckets, I understand that you're the biggest Ohio State fan in the country. Do you have a play on this game? Are you laying the points?
Yeah, I'm laying the points.
That sounded convincing. How about this, Buckets? How about something in your wheelhouse? Do you like Algeria money line versus Equatorial Guinea?
So asking about AFCON here, I do like it, but the money line itself is hovering around minus 180 right now, which I don't mind juice personally, but even that's a bit too much for me. If I was going to bet this, I'd do something like Algeria money line parlayed with under 3.5 goals. Algeria is not starting Riyad Mahrez, who has scored 3 of their 4 AFCON goals this tournament so far. Until he comes in, I'm not expecting a lot of action out of Algeria. So this might be one of those annoying games where it's 0-0 at halftime. Then Algeria subs in some of their big guns and ends up winning 1-0, 2-0 kind of deal.
Steve Folkert says Liverpool Man City plus 113. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's an easy parlay. I think that Liverpool does beat Leeds. It's probably closer than people are going to think it's going to be. Like if we saw a 3-2 kind of scoreline, that wouldn't shock me. Man City's a bit of a tough one. They're playing Sunderland on the road. Sunderland hasn't lost at home yet this season, but to be fair, they haven't played Man City at home this season. That tends to be kind of a breaker of trends there. So I do expect both games to be pretty close, but I don't hate that parlay at all.
I want to follow up on the Ohio State. Gipper's Picks, who we all know, Early Edge family all knows, is super sharp across the board, says playing Ohio State game first quarter under 10.5 and Ohio State money line minus 125. We got to look at some SportsLine picks, but also talk about a BetMGM promo. BetMGM players will receive an NBA odds boost to use today. Just make an NBA bet for today's games, and if you win, you'll win extra cash with the boost only at BetMGM. We've got an NBA pick along with a lot of other picks here, courtesy of SportsLine. College football, both Jeff Hockman and Bruce Marshall. And people were asking about this game in the chat, Steve Folkerts in particular. Iowa plus 5.5 is the play, minus 110. Again, that one courtesy of Jeff Hockman and Bruce Marshall. We stick with college football. We already talked about it. Our friend who is back with SportsLine, Eric Cohen, Ohio State minus 9, minus 110. And maybe EC is involved in the announcement that I was going to make a few minutes ago in terms of who our guests are, our analysts are tomorrow on the Early Edge. Derek Queen over 12.5 rebounds and assists, minus 106. That one courtesy of Mikey B. And then college basketball, Larry Hartstein in the chat and on the board here, courtesy of SportsLine, Virginia Tech plus 5.5, minus 110. A lot more picks to get to, ladies and gentlemen. We got some questions from the chat. I've got 2 picks to give out, including a college football pick, which, hey, listen, I like it. Maybe you're like, why is he giving out college football? I don't want to take it, but Mike, maybe I'll bounce it off of you as well. And then, of course, I've got a NFL prop, and we've got a teaser coming from Brasco. It's all coming up right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
We're back here on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. I've got a couple of plays here. I guess I'll start with college football chronologically. 2 o'clock, we've got Duke playing Arizona State. Now, Mike, I was going to come with Duke minus 3. I noticed overnight that a lot of the 3.5s became 3s. It kind of scared me off a little bit because to me, the conventional wisdom, especially with the opt-outs on both sides of the ball for Arizona State, and I understand there's injuries and opt-outs on Duke, but not nearly as many as Arizona State. To me, Mike, the conventional wisdom would have been like, If anything, this line would grow from 3.5 to 4. Instead, it came back down to 3 with, I know, a lot of smart people on Duke. So it scared me off the spread a little bit. But what I'm not as scared about is Duke team total over 24.5. I just love the fact that, we've got a lot of opt-outs on the Arizona State side, including there's more on the offensive side of the ball, admittedly. And of course, Sam Levitt's not playing for Arizona State either, than the defensive side of the ball. But there's still, at the defensive back position, the linebacker position, there's a lot of opt-outs, a lot of injuries for Arizona State. And I love that Darian Mensah is playing in this game and is also playing for Duke next year. I think that brings a lot of momentum to this game. And again, when you're looking at the injuries in the opt-out situation for Duke, it's just not as severe as it is Arizona State. So while I lean pretty heavily to Duke -3, I like this team total over 24.5 at -115. I think Darian Mensah is playing this game, is coming back for a reason, and I think he starts his campaign tonight, or I should say this afternoon, in terms of getting things going for next year. So I've got the team total over 24.5. We're going to go to another quarterback with my next play, but we're going to the NFL. We're going to Saturday, and we're going to Baker Mayfield under 33.5 pass attempts. This one, I was really split between taking the under 21.5 completions and the under 33.5 pass attempts. Of course, if one hits, the other one tends to hit. I ended up going with the pass attempts because I just don't see a lot of volume against the Carolina Panthers here. When you look at how teams attack the Carolina Panthers, including last week where Seattle ran the ball 33 times between Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, no quarterback has gone over 33 pass attempts against Carolina since week 9 when Jordan Love did it. You just their pass defense isn't amazing, but you attack them through the run. I expect Tampa to do that. Baker Mayfield has only gone over this pass attempt total 2 of his last 7 games. So again, I think the plan of attack here is going to be to run the ball. Now, you might look at the box score last week and you see Baker Mayfield 33 for 44 against Miami. 2 things. One, game script in the second half, they were down in that game, believe it or not, to Miami. But the other thing is they came out throwing because Miami allows the highest completion percentage in the league. So the game plan would have been against Miami to throw the ball. Against Carolina, I actually think it's the opposite game plan. We're going to see a lot of Bucky Irving. I lean to his over rush attempts. I think we're going to see a little bit of Rashad White, a little bit of Sean Tucker, and not quite as much Baker Mayfield. Again, I lean to the under completions as well. I was a little split on those two. Either way, give me Duke team total over 24.5. Baker Mayfield under 33.5 pass attempts at -125. And Danny, we're going to stick with the NFL. We'll get to your questions, by the way, in a second. Panthers 49ers teaser.
Yes, sir. We got 2 great games on Saturday. And I like how you segued me in with Baker Mayfield because Sia, he's clearly playing hurt. He's been playing hurt, knee injury, shoulder injury. The Bucs haven't covered a spread in 2 months. 8 straight ATS losses for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the longest stretch in franchise history since 1982. They look dead in the water right now. And we're going to start this teaser by taking the Panthers +8.5 for the first leg. We'll round it home with the Niners +7.5. But first leg, look, first of all, this spread opened at +3.5. Sharps immediately bought it to 2.5. So you're through that key number. We love getting the teaser through 3, through 6, through 7, and through 8. That's the Wong teaser, classic way to play it. These teams played a couple weeks ago. The Panthers won in Carolina 23-20. This Bucs secondary is in major trouble right now. We know all the wide receiver injuries, the offensive line injuries they've had, but the secondary has been banged up too, and they're playing terribly. Ted McMillan, 6 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Look, I mean, this Panthers team is one of the most interesting underdog teams in NFL history. They're 8-8 straight up. All 8 wins, tying an NFL record, have come as underdogs straight up. They're 9-5 against the spread. And you take a look at the Bucs right now, 1-6 ATS at home, 3-7 ATS as a favorite, and 3-7 ATS, 5-11 ATS on the season. Also, Tristan Wirfs didn't play last week. Luke Gedke banged up. I'm very worried about the Buccaneers if they don't have Tristan Wirfs. So maybe they finally show some juice, wake up. Igbuka, Evans, Godwin just take over the game. Like you said, Bucky Irving maybe controls it, but I don't think they win this game by more than a touchdown. The Panthers have been very feisty dogs. This is going to be a close game to decide the NFC South. I want 8.5 all day. I think the Panthers win outright. Bucs are dead in the water, in my opinion. I said that on the Underachiever stream the other night, Sia, and Stryker is the producer, big Bucs fan down in Fort Lauderdale. Airstrike me off the stream. Just booted. So that's leg 1. And let me move forward. 49ers, Sia, I mean, Brock Purdy's been awesome in December, 5-0 straight up at home in the month of December. The Niners have lost 2 games by more than 7.5 all season. Both came with Mac Jones under center. One was against the Rams in a blowout that kind of just got away from them early. And the other was against the Texans, and they lost by 11 points. That's the best offense and the best defense in the league. Only 2 times they lost by more than a touchdown. Man, Niners are rolling, baby. It's going to be a good game to decide the number 1 seed. And we're looking at a lot of questionable tags. Both offensive lines have some concerns. Trent Williams for the Niners, Charles Cross for the Seahawks. Ultimately, I think it's going to be a really close battle. And you give me more than a touchdown for one of the best offenses in the league. I think Purdy clutches up. The Niners win this game, but 7.5 all day, I'll take it. Only thing to watch, see, I should mention McCaffrey, stiff back. He's got to play for me to bet this, but I certainly think he will with all that's on the line.
Yeah, you saw that kind of flare up at the end of the game. I mean, it's no wonder like he's got a stiff back or some other, nagging injury the way they're using him. Mike, do you have an opinion on either of those 2 Saturday games? Bucks obviously playing at home against the Carolina Panthers and the 49ers playing at home against Seattle.
Yeah, I certainly expect 1-score games. So it would certainly be in line with where the teaser is. I do like San Francisco. I obviously would want Christian McCaffrey out there. I can't imagine a scenario that Christian McCaffrey is not playing, considering the circumstances. I think it's simply just a spot where Christian McCaffrey is a guy that never needs to go to another practice ever again in his life, ever. He doesn't even need chemistry with the team. He doesn't need anything. He can literally play his position with the instincts that he has, right? So I would never be worried at this point about something like that on CMC. Yes, he's had a ton of touches, like just ridiculous number. He's held up finally this season, but I think it's personally just about not moving his body during the week at all and just being ready to go for this game on a shorter week.
And Sia, I saw the Niners move from -108 favorites on the money line, now +1.5 underdogs and +100 on the money line, which gave us that teaser opportunity. Mike, do you think that was just strictly on the news on the limited practice or the non-practice for McCaffrey?
No, I think it's action. I think that where it's speculation is on the combination of Trent Williams and George Kittle. Williams would be the biggest deal, but as long as they have Kittle, I do think they pull Kittle into block a little more, and I think they might run 2 tight ends with Tonjes a little bit. But yeah, I think the line movement was more speculation on both Kittle and Williams having the injury, and then just general action on Seattle.
And Adam Schefter reported that Kittle's raring to play, that he had no chance last week, but that he has a great shot this week and he really wants to go. So I'm hoping. And then one more injury. I just wanted to note the Charles Cross questionable tag for the Seahawks. His backup left tackle, Josh Jones, also questionable. So they could have an issue there on the offensive line.
All right. That's a good update. We're going to have to track those. It'll be easier to track those because they're 2 isolated Saturday games. I do want to mention from a programming standpoint, Fantasy Football Today DFS, it's going to be Friday at 11 o'clock as opposed to Thursday. That's me, Mike, and Meg. So we won't see you tomorrow on New Year's Day. We'll see you on the early edge at 10 o'clock. But for FFT DFS, we'll see you Friday at 11 o'clock. Buckets, we got a soccer question here from Snug the Cat. What are your thoughts on Hull City over 1.5 team total at +140? He says, I like the value, but struggling to get a good read on, I'm going to pronounce this name wrong, Stoke.
Stokey. I feel like that's a pretty easy.
Yeah, but I thought because it's soccer, it's going to be some like weird
Stoke, something kind of fancy like that.
Yeah.
No, I'll answer this for Snug, and then Mike, I got a question for you as well here. I do like Hull City team total. Hull City is doing really well this season. They're currently 4th on the table and are fighting for this promotion spot. I get Stoke K being weird to read because this is just a tough team. This is a team that one week will play for this cagey 0-0 like they did against Preston North End, and then one week they're getting beaten 4-0 by Sheffield United. It's kind of a team where it's a little bit of that Jekyll and Hyde situation where you just don't really know who's going to show up, so you kind of got to go for it. I will say that Hull's been really good on or at home specifically, so I like that at value at +140. I think it's a good shout, Snug. And then Mike, my question for you. My cousin texted me. He lives in Indiana. He said take Carnell Tate to score a touchdown for Ohio State. I opened up MGM. I don't have player props here in Ohio. Is that a state-specific thing in college football? You can't bet on your own teams?
It is. Some states, Indiana, Illinois, for sure. And a lot of New Jersey, I believe, definitely have
Virginia.
Those rules. A lot of states do. But yes, a lot of states do not allow in-state college football playoffs or in-state betting on the game itself, the team. And some do. As far as Carnell Tate scoring a touchdown, I do think it happens.
All right.
And some states don't allow college football player props either.
Yep.
So
New York as well. I can't bet college props. I can't bet on a Syracuse game. Like, come on, man.
Just like across the board, you can't bet.
Speaking of general news there, also thinking about everyone in the city of Chicago, you guys may be potentially losing sports betting within city limits. There's a lot of, maybe not the forum to go into it and everything here, but look, there's a shot that the city of Chicago in the city limits, because the city has enacted their own like 10.2% tax on sports gambling, which allows the operators to no longer be in compliance if they accept bets in that jurisdiction. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they geotag it and city limits are off limits, but Chicago's got some drama coming starting, I believe, either January 1st or January 6th.
Ben?
Yeah, if I can come live with any of you guys just so I can gamble, that would be great. Thank you.
Ben, I actually have an extra bedroom. I think you should come live with me. Buckets, I extend the invite to you, and we can make it like a mini series. We can make it a sitcom.
Well, I was going to say, Ben, I have a super comfortable couch and 550 square feet here if you want to come hang out with me and Freya. I know that's
I remember when I was just in Chicago about a month ago, I was paying, they had a 50-cent tax per bet. And it was like a tourist, they waived it for me because it was like a first time betting in Chicago. But typically you have to bet. It's like paying an ante now. Not only are you paying the minus 110 juice, you're paying an ante just to play.
This is making me rethink the meetup, Major League Baseball meetup next summer in Chicago. I think we need to go to a gambling-friendly, sports betting-friendly state.
Maybe we'll be outside the Bears Stadium in Gary, Indiana. If the team moves.
Yeah, that's fair. But it'll be Wrigley nonetheless. All right. Let's see if we have I don't know if we have any, before we get to the recap screen, any other chat questions. Let's see. We got some plays here. Nebraska plus 14.5 says Jay Long. Better days ahead says Denver, Toronto first half over 109.5 at minus 110. Let's see. And then we already read, Cleveland team total over 120.5 from Rick Funcannon. All right. I think that's going to do it. Again, me and Mike are going to be on at 12 o'clock with Emory Hunt to do the college football show. We're going to talk all the college football playoff games, talk some non-college football playoff games as well. Okay, here's the announcement, though. On tomorrow's show, Mike, you're going to be on with us in the morning. We're going to have Emory Hunt. We're going to have Berg Bets. So we're covering all types of spectrums. Berg Bets can cover some college basketball for you. He might have some college football as well. We're going to have EC on the show tomorrow. We are starting off the new year with Eric Cohen. So everybody make sure you are here. I know it's New Year's Day and I know people have plans. I'm hoping you can all be here and convene for the return of EC tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on the Early Edge. And again, it's a great cast with Berg Betts, Emory Hunt, and Mike McClure as well. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Buckets or Brasco or Larry Hartstein will jump into the show or jump into the chat. Who knows? It's a new year, new rules. All right, let's get to the recap screen before we get everybody out of here. Japan says EC, the MVP. Duke team total over 24.5, minus 115. That's coming from me, and I got Baker Mayfield under 33.5 pass attempts at minus 125. College football playoff donkey, Ohio State money line plus Oregon plus 6.5, plus Alabama plus 15.5, and Ole Miss plus 15.5 as well. That pays plus 203. In soccer, we go to Liverpool versus Leeds. Both teams to score minus 130. And Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Fulham draw no bet at plus 130. Danny Brasco's got an NFL teaser for Saturday. Panthers plus 8.5. 49ers plus 7.5 at minus 134. I cannot wait for those two games. And I'm kind of sad that the Falcons ruined it for us. The winning in is like not a thing, Brasco. Before we get to the SportsLine picks, your reaction?
Unreal from the Dirty Birds showing up. These teams with nothing to play, we cannot sleep on them anymore. Nothing to play for. They show up for their jobs. They're professionals, and they play with pride, and you can never overlook that. I also see our Blake Corum rushing yards play. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, injuries, that's just, there's nothing you can do about that. I will say this. The teams that have nothing to play for, that are playing in prime time, those teams don't take any snaps off. Like those teams know that everybody's watching. So for next year, always consider that. I mean, some teams, they kind of mailed in from a personnel standpoint, but prime time, everybody's up for prime time, period. Let's go to our SportsLine picks, a lot of them. College football, we go to Iowa plus 5.5. That one's from Jeff Hockman and Bruce Marshall. We also go to Ohio State minus 9, minus 110. That one from EC. NBA, Derek Queen over 12.5 rebounds and assists, minus 1.6 from Mikey B. College basketball, Virginia Tech plus 5.5. That one courtesy of Larry Hartstein. a lot of people singing the praises of Wrigley. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Wrigley is still in play. I'm hoping some local government officials are maybe watching this show and they're saying, hey, we gotta pull back on this tax thing because Sia and the Early Edge crew are not going to come to Wrigley next summer for a Chicago Cubs game. Brasco, is it going to work?
I don't know.
Are city
man.
officials watching, you think?
Yeah, right. We move needles. I mean, Mike's moving markets for sure. So I think we can move some lobbyists perhaps in Congress. I mean, they got the 10% tax withholding rule that they're working on, like federally too. Like it's going to be impossible for pro bettors. So Chicago needs to do something or else no one can bet in that state at all. And we're not going to come to Wrigley. You're going to miss out on the Early Edge family.
Buckets, if we go to Wrigley, are you going to come?
I'm guessing Wrigley's in Chicago based on how the conversation's been going.
Yes, that's accurate.
Yeah, I'm down then. I'll be there.
All right. See, we don't only talk sports here. We talk local government politics right here on the Early Edge. Make sure you subscribe to the SportsLine YouTube channel. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock or we'll see you at 12 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Thank you, Buckets. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Danny Brasco. Thank you, Mike McClure. Everyone, have a very safe and happy New Year's Eve. We're going to see you tomorrow on New Year's Day. Can't wait to turn the page on a new year and some more green check marks. See you soon. We rest our case.